All right, from your bag, grab your fraction and decimal equivalents, notes, your color pencil, and maybe the highlighter, I'm not sure. All right, so we talked about how fractions are part of a whole, decimals are also part of a whole. Fractions and decimals are both a way to show part of a whole. The major difference is that they're written in different format. You've got a division statement potentially, and then you've got just like the decimal where you kind of think of money. When finding equivalent fractions and decimals, we will think money. All right, so we'll start with 1/4. How to find the decimal. Since your denominator is 4, color every fourth tile. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting to see a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's looks like it's every other one. It's always a pattern in math. You just have to know where to look. All right. Count how many tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Did you also count 25? Since you did not color all the grid, the fraction and its equivalent decimal have a value less than 0, so there's no way this is 25. So we'll put a 0 and a decimal point in front of the number of tiles, and this is your equivalent decimal. So 1/4 is equivalent to 25 hundredths, and if I think money, the whole is always $1 or 100 cents, and what 4 things would I need to get to $1? It would be 4 quarters or 25 cents, 4 25s. All right, we can look at our denominator. 4. Ask, there are 4 of what in $1? 4 quarters. This is what a quarter looks like. So this is also the decimal. All right, I'm going to partition this grid into 4 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll put a kind of make this stand out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've partitioned it into 4 equal pieces. And we can see that that looks like 1/4 as a fraction, and then this is a hundredths grid, and this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 hundredths. How much in 2 quarters, or 2/4? That would be 50, because 25 plus 25 is 50. So I'll partition this hundredths grid into 4 equal parts. And this time I'm going to shade 2 quarters or 2 25 hundredths. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Then another 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That looks like half of it. And 50 cents is half of $1. So 50 hundredths. We can also say 5 tenths. If we think about dimes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So one group of 10, 2 dimes, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, and 5 tenths are 5 dimes. All right, 3/4. So we'll show you 25 hundredths 3 times, 5 hundredths, 10 hundredths, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 3/4 is 75 cents. So 75 hundredths and 3/4 are equivalent. They have the same value. Pause and take a break if you need to. Otherwise, let's move on to fifths. I'm going to fold my paper back like this. We're going to look at 1/5. You got the decimal. This is a hundredths grid because it's been partitioned into 100 equal parts. How to find the decimal. Since your denominator is 5, color every fifth tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's a shortcut. Do you see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do a third row and verify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're only coloring the 5th and the 10th column, which makes sense. 5, 10. So 1, 2, this is 10, 20. So we counted 20 tiles or colored 20 tiles. Since you did not color all of the grid, it is less than 1. So we'll add a 0 and a decimal point in front of the number of tiles. This is your equivalent. 20 hundredths or 2 tenths. Reminder or a note, remember to think money. Fifths can be thought of as nickels, since nickels have a value of 5. How many groups of 5 pennies or 1 nickel can you make in this hundredths chart? So let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's going to be the same thing as this one. Do you agree? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my nickel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Let's go ahead and acknowledge the pattern. What we're doing is we found a shortcut. So these 5 pennies make 1 nickel. Here's a second nickel. Here's a third nickel because there's 5 cents. Here's a 4th nickel. Here's a 5th nickel. A 6th nickel. Another 5 pennies is a 7th nickel. An 8th nickel. A 9th nickel. A 10th nickel. And this is half, and 10 nickels is 50 cents. 11 nickels. 12 nickels. 13 nickels. 14 nickels. Here's another 5 pennies, which is 15 nickels. 16 nickels. 17 nickels. 18 nickels. 19 nickels, and 20 nickels. So we had 20 groups of 5 pennies, with 5 pennies equaling the 1 nickel. So we'll just highlight that so we're clear that this is your nickel. We have 5 of these. It takes 20 nickels to get to $1. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, $1. So it takes 20 nickels to get to $1. So each 1/5 has a value of 20 hundredths. Another way to think is 5 goes into 120 times because we just counted by fives and we did it 20 times till we got to 100. All right. So we know that 1/5 is 20 hundredths. So here's 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20. And we're going to shade 2 1/5s. So here's 1/5 or 20 hundredths, and another 1/5 or 20 hundredths would be 20 plus 20, which is 40 hundredths. So 2/5 is the same as 40 hundredths. 3/5. We know that 1/5 is 20 hundredths. 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20. So we need to shade 3 1/5s. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 gives us 3/5. 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 20 is 60. So 3/5 is equal to 60 hundredths. 4/5. I'm just going to use these lines. And this time we're going to shade 4 1/5s. Here's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So I could add 20 to this, or for 4/5 I could double 2/5. 40 plus 40 is 80. 60 plus 20, also 80. Whatever's easiest for you. And then 5/5, I would partition the hundredths grid into 5 equal parts. One-fifth, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. $20 plus 20 is 40, plus 20 is 60, plus 20 is 80, plus 20 is 100, or 1 whole. That's in simplest form. $1, 100 pennies, or $1, or just 1 whole. Stop and take a break if you need to. All right, Tims. Remember to think money. Tims can be thought of as dimes, since dimes have a value of 10. How many groups of 10 pennies can you make in this hundredths chart? I'm going to go, you can either go up and down, across, or up and down. I'm going to go up and down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 pennies is a dime. Here's one group. Here's a second group. Here's a third group. Your paper should look like mine. Here's a fourth group. Here's a fifth group. 6, 7 groups. 8 groups. 9 groups. 10. 10 groups of 10 pennies, with 10 pennies equaling 1 dime. So tens can be thought of as dimes. All right, and so we could, I'm not sure what we were trying to say here, but they can be thought of as dimes. All right, so 1/10 is equal to 1/10. I'm going to use the highlighter. 2/10. 1/10, 2/10. 2/10 equals 2/10. 3/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. 4/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. I'm noticing something. What do you think that is? 5/10. Let's do 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10. 5/10 equals, you guessed it, 5/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10. I love math. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. 9/10 equals 9/10. I'm going to shade the whole thing. 2/10, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 10/10. Or 1/2. What do you notice about the fraction and decimal for tenths? Say the fraction. Write the decimal. Because they're pronounced the same. And because of our wonderful base 10 system, that should be the same for tenths, hundredths. 100ths equals 100ths. Yep. And thousandths. 1,000ths equals 1,000ths. All right.